Welcome to the show, everybody. Today we're reviewing the week ending December 10th, 2021. Well, Jacob, here we are. Um, what did you think of the week? We started it off with Jessica Zwaal, and that was a pretty good one, huh?
I enjoyed it. And there's these episodes that we do, Ruben, that I feel like I just want to tell people and they're all great episodes. But regarding unions, I just felt like, sometimes it kind of convicted me because sometimes I think I know it, I know about the unions. And when she was done talking, I thought, I don't know that much about unions. And she was so articulate and she spoke so well about them regarding what's on their plate right now, regarding class sizes, regarding safety at the schools, obviously always pay for teachers. And she was a good advocate for her union. And so I was just even thinking, gosh, I wish we had more people like her in my district. But I will say this, I feel like I need to do my homework more regarding what's going on in my union right now. So it just really was a good time. And she, like I said, she not only is she works the union, but she has a job at school. She works at the Title I office and working with kids. And so she is a big advocate. Even this week, she sent a text to me regarding my own son to help him regarding his IEPs and so forth. So anyway, it was a joy to have Ruben. I'm not sure how you felt, but I felt really good about that interview.
Yeah, I actually, she didn't really talk much about pay. She was talking
No,
more
you're right.
about class size, water as being a right, and a lot of students aren't getting access to that. And I got to share something that I learned on when we talked to her this week. Somebody said, a friend of mine, or more of an acquaintance, said, I'm looking for I want to be a substitute teacher. And I said, well, there's a sub shortage. And I, hat tip to
There you
Jessica.
go.
So, yeah, really good. And I like what she was saying, how um, there are conservatives in the union.
Yeah.
And I know there's a concern about that. Is the union just left wing? And probably it's probably more
Sure.
left wing than
For sure.
conservative. Um, but she mentioned that there were plenty.
Yeah, there was a voice at least. So that was nice
There's
to
a
know.
voice.
For
Okay,
sure.
well, check that out, everybody. Check out that episode.
For sure.
And then the next day, we talked to David Dorf and we told some stories.
Yeah. Dave's a childhood friend, one of my oldest friends, actually my oldest friend. I remember meeting Dave when I was 8. And you know what? It's so awesome that he's still in education. We worked together with Saya back in the 90s, early 90s until now. And he's teaching middle school. He's been teaching middle school for years. But he brought up a couple stories, one from Soledad Enrichment Action, the Saya program, and one from the school that he went to. He was teaching prior to the one he's at now. And those Saya stories never get old. I never heard that. I know Dave. Like I said, for years, I never heard that story regarding that young man who came up and he thought maybe he was going to hurt him because after he had reported to the probation officer, we worked at a school where if we call the probation officer, most likely the kid will get picked up, go a while, be put away for a while, and then come back. And a lot of times they came back and they're not too happy.
Well, in all fairness, we worked at a school where they encouraged us to call probation officers.
Yeah.
But when at least, and maybe your experience is different. My experience was they usually weren't picked up if you called, but it was good to call if they
Right.
committed an infraction or they violated. That's what they call it, violated.
Yeah. They picked up
They
sometimes at my school, but most of the time they picked them up at their house. Yeah, you're right.
they would get picked up. They would get picked up in terms of if you expelled them.
Yeah.
If you expelled them and they had nowhere to go, they would get
For
picked
sure.
up pretty quickly. Okay, I will say, I don't know if I told this. I'm not going to tell a long story, but I was going to say,
Uh-huh.
in the I had an office building for my SAA. I think I told the story of when I was in a church basement, Cherry Street, Compton.
Yeah.
But later on, when I became a teacher, I was in an office building. So that was the reality of SAAs, is that they were in church basements and office buildings and
Everywhere.
churches in general. Remember
Yeah.
the old church on Brady?
Oh yeah.
But I remember we had right down the hall was a sheriff deputy who would check in on us. It was
Yeah.
so great because that
Oh,
was that support.
yeah.
And so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we did have a lot of support. Like, and you mentioned the probation or the sheriffs. But a lot of times, we even with the church personnel. I know where I worked at, they were very. They would come in and check with the kid. They knew the kids in the community, so that was always nice to have. So yeah, for sure.
Okay, so good one, David. I do say this though. I like getting together with teachers and talking. Um, I don't think I don't recommend telling stories to students though. That's just me. Um, I don't think it's a good look to talk about yourself, but that's my thing, and it's a time waster. But everybody's different. Um, the next day we chatted about the hit TV show Glee.
Yeah, you know what? I have watched more than 5 episodes now, Ruben. I am like at episode season 1, episode 15 or 16, and I'm hooked now. I didn't think I was going to be. I mean, I told you I was starting to be after 5, but I am totally hooked. The stories are just these kids are they look like kids and they act like kids. Even though now I'm looking back, I did a little research on them. They're obviously they're older, and
Oh boy. So
but
you went down that rabbit hole. I
I
told you not
went
to do it.
I went through.
How
I
dark?
shouldn't have. It's so
How
dark.
dark does it get?
These poor people. There's 3 people who passed away, Ruben. I mean, you know
Oh,
that. You know all this.
one of them isn't so poor. I don't.
No. One of them's yeah. I think we're yeah.
I mean, it's tragic. It is
It's tragic.
Yeah.
But and even I found out about the lead, the female. Oh, what's her name right now? Michelle.
Lee,
The
Lee Michelle.
Michelle. How she, she's not beloved by her former colleagues. They basically her character is in real life is like the character
Yeah.
in Glee. So yeah, there's some interesting. But she's so good though. She really is a great actress.
Great.
Tremendous.
And Chris Colfer is also a published
My
author
favorite.
now.
Yeah.
Published author. We know about Corey Monteith.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
so much talent.
There's another singer you're gonna see coming up. An incoming classmate who is great, just as good as Monteith, maybe better.
Really?
Yeah, he's really good. So, they have an oncoming group of students. It's ongoing, as you see.
Can I say this one thing? Jane Lynch, there's an episode where she does Madonna. It's worth seeing just that one episode because she's incredible, and the whole episode's an ode to a little respect to Madonna.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Real quickly, I meant to say this. There is a scene. I meant to say this when we recorded this. There is a scene in which Corey Monteith and I believe Mark Salling were not getting it. They were not getting maybe Mark Salling wasn't in it, but yeah. Mark Salling, Corey Monteith were not getting it, and Matthew Morrison is like working with them, trying to get the number worked out in terms of their dance choreography, and he gave him a little bit of a little nudge by comparing what they were doing to baseball. He gave a baseball analogy, and for some reason it clicked with them and they were able to move. And later, I think Monteith said, man, that baseball analogy and swinging the bat worked. That shined the light, that
loosened them up. Yeah.
That made it work. And that happens as a teacher where you just give them a little bit of a nudge. You say the right thing. And sometimes it's inspired. You don't know, it just happens, and there's no better feeling. And you could see it in the character's face, the teacher's face, and it was really cool, very realistic.
Oh yeah.
Last thing, we talked about finals project, the Humans project. What do you think?
I went back and looked at it a couple times, Ruben, and remember in the video I shared with you that this is not just for an English class. This could be done in a humanities and sociology class, and I'm going to steal it just because the whole thing with the photography, because you've heard the whole trend, and you mentioned it. It says like 1,000 words, right? There's picture says 1,000 words, and so it does. And so for them to be able to do that, for them to be able to present a project like that, I think it's just going to be invaluable to them. I'm sorry, you're going to say something?
By the way, what that was is literally they need 1,000 words.
Yeah, that's so funny. So I mean, you said that, and I'm like, wow. And you know what? And kids can understand, and they like doing things like this. They love being able to present a piece like that, because whenever I give them art pieces, they go with it. And this is an art piece because they're having to talk to somebody, having to do a picture. It's great. I like how you said that if you don't want to take a picture of their faces, you could take a picture of their hands or and that's true. Sometimes that says something, so I like that.
There are so many unintended benefits from when I created this, including I originally just picked it because it was a high interest book. The students love the book, but and I just ordered 2 more copies. They're pretty expensive, but
They look
I ordered
big.
2. They're big. They're beautiful books. I mean, it's a book.
One.
By the way, you put that thing on your coffee table, people are gonna pick it up and they're gonna have a good time. Anybody, any adult, teenager, whatever. But the opportunity to talk to people and to ask deep questions and to develop deep questions. The grammar thing, they have to fix the grammar. I go, you got to fix that. You including all the likes that the person you interviewed said, you got to delete that. And they are very mindful of making their subject sound right. Yeah. The editing thing. And then what you alluded to, the idea of the art behind it. Yeah. So I'm noticing that students are approaching it differently. They're playing with the form. They're not, and they're trying to stand out. And I said, that's the artist in you. Connect to that your ability to switch it up, to throw curveballs. That's what makes it interesting. And I'm showing them the examples of how their fellow classmates are mixing it up, and it inspires them and they improve their own work. So it really is, it's been great.
It's good when they're trying to one up each other. Like, it's a good activity and a good project if that's happening. That's cool.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jacob, for this discussion. And we will catch you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Oh, Ruben, one last thing. I forgot to tell you, this is our 100th episode.
It is. Congratulations on the 100th episode. And I'm going to try this one more time. Bye-bye.